We're going to talk about the Desmos graphing calculator. Now, the Desmos graphing calculator on the App Store is found here, and you can install that on your phone. Now, for the Android user, we can go to the Google Play Store and type in Desmos, and there it is here. Now, if you're using your computer, what I want you to do is I want you to type in the following: desmos.com. And once in desmos.com, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to click the following button here, Start Graphing. Once in Desmos, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to basically create a few equations. And now those equations will give us some graphical representations of what we're looking for. Now, I'm going to go and change a few things here to just make my life easier because I like to see a grid. Now you'll notice when I put in a step of 1 here, this nice grid shows up with all of the points for all the x and the y axes showing up. So our first equation is going to be y is equal to 3x plus 1. Now that is the point slope form of our graph. Now you'll notice our b value is 1, so that's our y-intercept here, and we'd have to go up 3 and over 1 to find our first point. Now I'm going to draw another line. Let's say we have, well, let's use the standard line. So we got x plus y is equal to 3. You'll notice that your graph automatically shows up here. Now, if I wanted to show all the points for every value on the line, y is equal to 3x plus 1, what we would do is we would create a table. Now, we've done this before, and notice I have x1, y1. Now, if I punch in the number, say, let's say negative 3. If I punch in negative 3, notice nothing shows up in the y column of our table. Now, why is that so? The reason why that's so is because we haven't actually put in an equation for our line, for what we want y to be. So we're going to take this, and we're literally just going to substitute, where we have y1, we're going to substitute 3x plus 1. Now, you'll notice we have an error happening here. So you could either type it in or you could paste it in, but right now we have an error. Now the reason why we have an error is because the computer is saying that there are too many variables. We need to define a variable x. Now we could either remove the x1 on this equation here, or we can change this equation to be x1. Now what you do is you're going to put your cursor after x1, and then you're going to hit the number 1, and guess what it does? It goes and plugs negative 3 in where x1 is and calculates for us. Now, in order to get a step of points that go up increasingly, you go to the next line and we write in negative 2, and it goes and calculates our y value for negative 2, and you'll notice that its first point shows up here. Now, if I hit enter again, our next point shows up. Hit enter again, next point shows up. So it's kind of like it shows like the steps that are required to create your line. Now, let us do the same for our second equation here. X plus y equals 3. Now, this is not in the right form because the column to the right of this x1 column is always going to represent the y value that goes with the x value. Now, this equation is not into y equals form. So what we have to do is we have to take this x value and move it over to the other side. So we're going to get y is equal to 3 minus x. Now notice there's my line, and that's what my equation should be. So I'm going to go to the right of my first column, and I'm just going to click there. Now notice it goes and creates a new column for our y values. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to write 3 minus x. Now we still have that error again, don't we? So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to click to the right of the x, and then you're just going to hit 1, and that will create our x1. And now these values in red represent the values for y that go with x1 based on our original equation, x plus y equals 3. Now, your task for the day will be to create something similar to this in your first lesson for Unit 3. We're going to call it Lesson 3.0 because we don't want to have to do a whole bunch of graphing on graph paper. What I need you to do is I need you to do that, and then I want you to submit a picture of what you have done. Either you're going to take a print screen of your work and upload it to FreshGrade, or you're just going to take a picture from your phone and upload it to FreshGrade based on what you see here. Okay? So create your own and save it. Now notice, I could save this as whatever, but you know, you have to basically sign in with your personal account, and I haven't bothered to do that right now. You can do that and save each one of your graphs so that you can use them later. Take care, guys.